morning. Rena, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you this morning.
Absolutely.
Just getting a lot of work done already. It's been one of those days where it's like just take off and go, no time to breathe, everything's stacked and rolling through it. How about you?
Yeah. I'm out and about right now. I've gotten a bunch of stuff done. Been working since about 6 and getting stuff taken care of. Kids,
Well,
work, the whole nine, right? The daily grind.
yes, it's especially right before the holiday season and
Right.
Thanksgiving. That's those vacation days for the kids are coming up, and everyone, self included,
Absolutely.
is like, get it done now. Ugh. But so I was thinking it'd be fun to talk today about Google Business Profiles since we
Perfect.
have the holiday season coming up. They're hyper local. Small businesses, especially, want to be doing more local business, and we need to be
Yeah.
able to find them on their Google Map profiles. So why don't would you tell me what are some of the things that you've seen with Google profiles lately?
So there's quite a few things that I tend to see. One of the biggest ones right now is just making sure, and probably the most obvious is making sure that your business profile is as complete as possible. If they give you a field in it, you probably want to either answer it yes, no, or otherwise. I know a lot of people they'll get started with stuff, or they'll just take what Google says for kind of just as gospel. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. In particular, this is like with your services that Google will do. Oftentimes, it'll cluster a bunch of stuff in really weird ways. So, for example, if you're a roofer, it might have you in like roofing contractor, and these are all of the services within your business. But then it'll do some
Mhm.
weird stuff with clustering, like let's say you do roofing tear off, it might break off that into its own category and then put roofing contractor in that one yet again. So there's a little bit of cleanup that you're going to want to do. Use common sense. As a contractor,
Common
you probably
sense.
know, right? You probably know the industry better than just some random person. So go through there, cluster things so that it makes sense. Another thing that I often see with people is that they aren't leveraging like the products that you carry, right? So if you are using the example of a roofer again, if you exclusively carry Tamco products or 3M products, Certainteed products, you're going to want to list those in your profile because those are
Right.
actually entities that kind of tie everything together and show the end user and Google these are the products that we carry. If you're looking for a particular shingle, let's say you have an affinity to Tamco or to Malarkey or any of these other kind of shingle brands, if you have that listed in your products that we carry these particular brands, we're a certified, Tamco installer, any of those kinds of things, that not only builds trust, it adds to your Google EEAT or expertise, experience, authority, and trust, and it provides just a better user experience and signal for people. What are your thoughts on it?
I concur 100%. And having a completed profile from top to bottom, even with the basics for hours of operation, for all of the products being in there and the services being listed, uploading images, putting in content for each of the products that are listed as well. Like there are an abundance of small things that can be done to a Google business profile in order for Google to see those trust signals. One of the things that I love talking about and teaching our clients especially is how to treat it like a social media profile, and to be posting and to be doing updates and to be keeping that healthy profile. Google wants us to use their asset. Google wants us to use it as a it's I mean essentially it's a lead gen. Like it's
Mhm.
used for lead generation. It's used with inside of their platform for the map pack. And it is used in a way that not only do they get paid when we use it, they get paid when people stay on Google longer through ads and AdSense and everything else that they have going on the paid advertising aspect. But they want to be that trusted authority. They want to be the one giving the answers. And they're looking for us to give them a reason why to refer us.
Mhm.
Like, let's give them reasons.
Yeah, and so a couple other things that I would add to that is that the I think that from a paid standpoint, it's not just the profile that they're looking for. Google, what they're looking for in particular, as you mentioned, is keeping people on the Google platform as much as possible. And the more that they know about you, the more that they can, unfortunately, keep people on the Google platform and not give them reason to click through to your website. And I think that's a really important distinction that a lot of other marketers don't necessarily talk about. Everyone's freaking out about like zero click and AI overviews and all of this. The way I've often looked at this, especially since like AI mode had come out, is that just assume that Google will not give you a click to anything, right? Just assume that. What we need to be focused on as marketers and as business owners is giving enough information so that there's reason for people to understand who you are, what you do, where you do it, why you do it, how you do it, all of the typical journalistic who, what, when, where, why, how, right? And so I think the big thing on that is just understand that you probably aren't going to get a whole lot of traffic from that. However, as a lead generation property and as something that you can put in front of people and that Google can understand all of those things: who, what, when, where, why, how, all of those things. That's what really becomes important for Google to understand and be able to include you in their ecosystem. Another thing that I would also mention on the Google profile is there are some spammy techniques that we'll give you the Google approved version of it, and then we'll do the aggressive version of it, right? So one of the things I often see are people that are putting through like super spammy names, right? ABC Roofing Company dash the best roofing company in Denver, Colorado dash experienced roofer, something like that. That unfortunately that it will work, unfortunately, um, to help rank for Google. However, oftentimes that's fairly short-lived, especially
Yeah.
when you start dealing with things like suspensions, when you start dealing with things like entity association. One of the problems that I have seen in auditing multiple hundreds, if not more, in the thousands of GMBs, is that so if you're tying all of those keywords together in your Google business profile, number one, it increases the odds of suspension, right?
Yes.
Which that's not something you want to deal with. I wouldn't
You
recommend
also
that.
talk about the issues of suspension and shadow banning as well. Apologize for interrupting, but like please dive into that too.
Yeah. The other problem, and before we dive into that you're going to run into, is that you're creating a tangential entity that isn't necessarily what it should be or what you want Google to understand about your business. For example, if there was like if you had someone like Burger King or McDonald's or Subway, any food chain, or think of any entity. I'm just going to use those because they're common, or Starbucks, right? That people would recognize. If we had something like Starbucks dash Denver, Colorado, cappuccino, macchiato, breakfast sandwiches, and so on and so forth, right?
Uh-huh.
You're confusing Google on what your entity actually is. Are you Starbucks or are you Starbucks, cappuccino, macchiato, Denver, blah, 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 right? And so that it starts to confuse Google on like, well, is this you or is it someone else? So beyond that, as I mentioned, it is a blatant violation of Google's terms of service. Does it work? It can, and I'll be completely honest. Like, that's probably what there was a recent local ranking factor great guide that came out maybe a week or two ago,
Uh-huh.
and they have the name of the business ranked in like the top 3 or 4. I would venture to say the name of your business actually is probably the number one factor in order to get your business ranked. So to do it legitimately, let's go that route as opposed to teaching people more nefarious ways to go about doing things. To do it legitimately, if you can put in any kind of keyword in your name, this goes back to the old days of remember the phone books where you would want to have like triple A in your name potentially, or double A, because double A appliance repair, or double A roofing company, anything like that, because in the phone book, because it's alphabetical, you would appear higher. Similar concept to that. If you can work in your keywords where it's double A roofing company Denver, or double A Denver roofing, right? That's actually a very legitimate way to increase your Google business profile, as long as it makes sense. Now, I don't recommend people go out and just change your business name for the hell of it. It can work, but again, there's the trade-off. If you have brand recognition and people already know who you are, what you do, and where you do it, there's no sense in doing that. You can continue building the brand.
And
But that's just one of the things that I would definitely recommend for people to
then
be
they get
aware of.
suspended. They get
Yeah.
suspended. They get, not only do they get the suspension,
Mhm.
then they need to reinstate, and they need to appeal, and they need to prove, which is happening all around like
Yep.
hotcakes
Google
right
has
now.
a shoot first, ask questions later kind of
Yes,
mentality.
it can take months to get a GBP back up if you even get to put it back up, and if you don't, you get to start over again. And it is a lead gen tool. So have you, I know that you've come across accounts that have been shadow banned because of massive spamming or worse practices, and it's debilitating for a
For
company.
local business,
Like,
absolutely.
can
So
absolutely
a couple things that I would recommend for people to, just as far as best practice to have in place. Number one, have all of your documentation in a Google folder. This, like for a marketing practice, this is something that we do. We set aside a client folder, and what I need to see are is your business documentation. Prove to me that you're a legitimate business, right? Show me business licensing, and beyond just typically what Google's requested in the past, which is like a utility statement, can't be anything that necessarily you provide, like a business card or something like that. It has to be third party verifiable. They're moving away from some of the, like, just give me a utility statement, because that, let's be honest, that can be forged, right? What they're moving towards is more of a third party validation for sites like Better Business Bureau, Chamber of Commerce, right? Dun and Bradstreet, these Secretary of State, these third party sites that you can't necessarily touch unless you actually have an account with them. So for example, Secretary of State, you fill out your if you are a legitimate business doing business as a legitimate business would, you probably have either a holding company or a business name or some, like a DBA at the very least, to do business in a particular state. Google is going to want to look at that, and you don't need to give them screenshots and any of that, because that's not really verifiable. What they're really looking for is, can you give me a link that I can physically go and check, that then allows me to see, Rena has a business, this is where the business is located, here's what it is, but it's a verifiable source that you can't necessarily touch or manipulate or modify, right? You could, but like for Secretary of State, it's going to cost you money. You're going to have to file an extension. There's a paper trail on all of that, which is 100% verifiable. That's really what Google's looking at. And they're looking to verify, like, are you actually a legitimate business, or are you just someone, a fly by night company that's just throwing up a DBA? It was formed yesterday, and we have no other documentation other than a business card that says I have a business, right?
Yep.
They're trying Google, and depending on the specific niche that you're in, certain ones are much more difficult than others. Locksmithing, notoriously spammed out niche. You can get into things like garage door repair. Again, incredibly spammed out niche. If you're in either of those, roofing, not so much. I mean, that tends to be pretty legit. The other thing with your trust signals that I would add is that if you are, let's say, a moving company or someone that is regulated by Department of Transportation, you must put that identification number not only on your website but in your GPP as well. So you'll have a DOT number that's an identification number of your license with Department of Transportation. These are all, again, trust signals that go into showing Google, that you are a legitimate business, why they should trust you. And again, with a shoot first, ask questions later kind of mentality that Google has, the more of this information you can compile and just have at your disposal, the better, especially if it comes to a suspension or in the event that you need to appeal something.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of our clients, 99% of our clients rely on having Google
Yeah,
business profiles and the lead gen that comes in through that. Like that's what
the
we
visibility.
specialize in, like local SEO. And
Yep.
this is the one thing that you as a business owner can do for yourself is get your Google business profile and optimize it. And if you don't know how, hire an agency that knows how and is going to do Google's best practices in order to ensure that it's not getting shadow banned, that it's not being spammed out and stuffed full of these additional keywords, and that it's done right, because Google wants to see a beautifully optimized profile.
Absolutely.
Just like your website. They want to make sure that's optimized too. And Google will
Absolutely.
reward the companies who have the authority, relevancy, trust, who are practices for Google and building out a digital asset.
100%. Couldn't say it better.
Oh, and we do have a Black Friday offer, since Black Friday is coming up this next week. Um, we are offering to do the Inferno Foundations, which is a once over on the website, on your website, primary website, Google Business Profile optimization, and 12 months of SEO, which is basic SEO to get ahead of the dudes who are doing nothing, which entails Google Business Profile posts and one blog a month. And it is half off for the Black Friday sale. We are only giving it to 10 people, 10 businesses. I will drop the code. Actually, I'll just tell you what it is. It's 5412. That's 54FOR number 12. And the first 10 companies that input that code on the landing page will get pretty much everything we just talked about, like earlier, GBP optimization once over on the site, and we'll be powering up your GBP for an entire year at a steal of a deal. So thanks for watching, definitely, because this offers for you guys.
There's bonuses.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Outstanding. We'll
And
hope
Brian,
everyone has a, yeah.
Brian, I really, real quick, I'd love for you to tell us about what you're doing today. I know you have a live that you're doing as well for a tool that you just created.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a co-founder for another tool called Rule Your Day. The developer and kind of the guy who started it, I've helped him kind of revamp and retool it. Rule Your Day is a fantastic get things done tool. So just if I can share my screen really quick, I
Please
can
do.
give you a
I'd
quick
love to see this. I'm
demo
going to
of
be on the
this.
call too. I love seeing all of the tools that you develop, and you're
Yeah.
just brilliant. I mean, what can I say? You're brilliant.
So this particular tool is called Rule Your Day. It is, this is fine. Let's go go here, share. Are you seeing my screen maybe? Nothing yet. Hang on 1 second. Here we are. Now you should see it. Potentially.
Okay, there we go.
Awesome. So we are doing we're doing an official launch on this one today, and basically what Rule Your Day is this is a simple task management. It is not intended to be a project management tool. This is just simply jot down your top 3 things that you need to get done. It helps keep accountability and balance life, family, work, and health. So if we were to sign in here, this as it is free right now. We're also doing a paid subscription that will have a ton of other features that include things like AI integration with Google Calendar, things like that. But as you're seeing it right now, this is all free. I highly recommend people check it out. But you can add in your top priority tasks here, put in any secondary tasks that you need to. You have a daily timeline. So you can see I'm planning on taking lunch. This recurs daily at about noon. And then there's a variety of other things here to help manage your time. You can also see your time distribution as far as, is this work? Is it health? What does that look like? And then if we have tasks like do a live with Rena, right? And then we may have a task about like check projects. And then we may have another one of like, kick some butt today.
Order groceries. That's one that I need to remember to do. I go online to order them and pick them up. I just have to remember to place the order half the time.
Perfect. So if we try and add in more than that to keep us on track, it says, hey, if you have more than 3 top priorities, and this goes back to Napoleon Hill's, 7 habits of highly effective people. If you have your boulders, your rocks, and your sand, there's priority tasks. The big boulders that we need to move today are top priority tasks. This, unfortunately, if we're adding in more, it's going to dilute what we want to do. So we can say, okay, we got 3. Now ordering groceries, that might be a secondary task. And if we get to it today, awesome. Tomorrow, probably wouldn't hurt. Groceries.
So
but that can become a secondary task.
The top, and then it kicks in the secondary after the tops are completed?
Yeah, so this is a manual edit on the free version. With the paid version, and we'll be doing a Black Friday special on this, this allows you to leverage AI to help prioritize your task using a variety of different methods like the RICE method or different kind of sprint campaigns, things like that. So,
oh, that's so cool.
If you do this, you're going to see also this is your day and how far we are into the day. We're kind of, once we're down here, we're at noon, and then we start teetering into later hours of the day. But we did the live stream with Rena. You'll notice that my primary tasks now are 25% complete. If I went ahead and did groceries, you'll see that my secondary task now, this middle ring, is now 100% complete. If we said we're going to check our projects, that now puts us at 75% complete. And I'll wait to kick some butt today. We'll do that kind of in the process. The other thing that's really helpful in this particular program is this Rule Your Year. What this does is this displays your entire year in a single calendar. So you have January in one row, February in one row, March in one row, so on and so forth. You'll notice that I have this blocked out. Most customers are typically out of town as of the 15th of December. So realistically, I have a couple more days this week. Thanksgiving, we're just going to chalk that kind of up to, this is just going to be kind of a wash. Thursday, Friday next week are going to suck. No one's doing anything those days. So again, we can say this is vacation, Thanksgiving, right? Out of town. Mark this off. We have the 27th through 28th. There we go. And so realistically, I have the rest of this week, 3 days next week, and then about 2 weeks to actually wrap up my year.
Wow.
If I can get anything in the rest of this, awesome, but I'm not counting on it. Now, what's great with this is this now gives us a much more high level strategic planning for my business, right?
Wow. That's beautiful.
Then we can go back, and when we need to finish out kicking some butt today, we get a little party going on here.
I like parties.
And then, you know, you can share this on X, share it on, you know, Facebook, copy your achievement text, any of that. You can also download any of your achievements for the day as a PDF or CSV. So
That's
we're going to be
cool.
doing the event a little later today. It's going to be at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, or 10 a.m. Pacific. So
Nice. I'll drop the
giving
link
away
in
some free
the
stuff too. So
comments too. I'll drop the link to the event in
sounds great.
Facebook. That'll be awesome. Well, so we have your event coming up very soon. We have our Black Friday giveaway for the first 10 companies, a 50 for 12, and I will drop that link to the page as well in the comments section. And that's it, everybody. Have a good one.
Sounds great. Have a great one, everyone.
And it